And welcome into Pencak Sports Network, Vocalized the podcast. Tonight is Halloween themed in our very first episode, and we are excited to get this started here tonight. Not too big of a schedule to go over tonight. Really just looking at the upcoming football playoff games first week and going into the volleyball, getting close to the championship matchups. Just to get it off, we're going to thank tonight's sponsors. First, the Selfie Spot AK Valley. They service the greater Pittsburgh area for all your photo booth needs. The Selfie Spot AK Valley can be at your birthdays, grad parties, weddings, school dances, and more. We are a modern-day photo booth, and we can't wait to be at your special day. Mention the Pencak Sports Network for a discount. Text the number 724-594-5538. Check out their Facebook and Instagram pages at the Selfie Spot AK Valley for more info and pictures from past events. And we'd like to thank the We Serve First Foundation. The We Serve First Foundation helps the athletes with financial difficulties get the training they need to be successful on the court, in the classroom, throughout their lives. The foundation has helped almost 120 kids get the advanced coaching in the sport of volleyball. The 2022 AVCA Sports Importance Courage Award was presented to Tim Toy and the foundation. For more info, go to www.jamthegym.com. We'd love for you to sponsor us. Please go to the homepage on our website and scroll down until you see the logo entitled Sponsor Us. We'd like to thank our special guest for coming in tonight, Rob Pencak. He's a 1994 Kiski area high school graduate that played as a lineman, or was a lineman when he played football. Tonight he is our bracket analyst, and he'll be going over for the upcoming Friday Night Lights in 2 days. So we'll introduce him. We'll see what he has to say tonight.
Hi, guys. So what are we starting on here, Nate? Volleyball. Whitfield girls volleyball. All four classifications are down to the semifinals. In 4A, you have North Allegheny versus Upper St. Clair, and then Cannon Mac versus North Catholic. I would pick North Allegheny against Upper St. Clair, and then North Catholic for the other game. And then the Class 3A, you have number 1 Beaver versus number 4 Hampton, and number 2 Mars versus number 6 Freeport. Stay in the AK Valley, I'd pick Freeport over Mars, and then Beaver over Hampton. And in the 2A, you got Quaker Valley, the number 1 seed versus Southmoreland, and number 2 Neshannock versus number 3 Hopewell. I would go with Quaker Valley and Neshannock. And then in Class A, you've got number 1 Fraser versus St. Joe's. And then Eden Christian's the number 2 seed versus Greensburg Central. And I would pick Greensburg Central over Eden, and then Fraser over St. Joe's.
Sorry, we only have one mic tonight, so it'll be going back and forth. Thanks for the volleyball. We appreciate it there. We'll just get over it. The schedule for the podcasts are every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. They premiere, so it's a pre-recorded video, but they premiere at a certain time and you can't skip ahead. So it's kind of like a live stream. We'll try to get new special guests every week, but you will start to see repeats. So when it comes to Whitfield playoff games, we are not allowed to stream them. So after it gets to the postseason, we tap out of the season and we can't do it anymore. What we're mainly here tonight is to look at them football brackets. First week. So we're going to send it back over to Rob and see what he has to say about Class 1A.
All right. Single A football playoffs. You have Fort Cherry's your number 1 seed, and they're going to be hosting Brentwood. Fort Cherry's undefeated. I would obviously stay with the number 1 seed there. And then number 8 Leechburg is hosting number 9 Cornell. We're going to stay as a homer and pick Leechburg. And then you have number 4 Neshannock versus number 13 Jeanette. I'd go Neshannock. And then number 5 Greensburg Central versus number 12 Monessen. And I would stay with Central. And then on the other side of the bracket, you have number 2 Clairton against number 15 Rochester. That'll be at Ringgold High School because Clairton's high school field's being redone. Clairton's just as impressive as Fort Cherry, so I would pick them. And then you have number 7 Laurel hosting number 10 California. I'm going to go with an upset there and pick California. And then Bishop Canavan's the 3rd seed versus, Bentworth. I would pick BC. And number 6 Jefferson Morgan's hosting number 11 Southside, and I would stick with Jefferson Morgan there also.
Alrighty, there's Class 1A, the first round that we went over. If you do want to watch those games, you do have to pay the toll of $12.99 a month on the NFHS network. So if you want to do that, if you want to see them. But again, we'd like to thank the 2 sponsors tonight. Moving on to Class 2A football. We'll send it back over to Rob, our analytics, here on PSNV, the Pencak Sports Network Vocalized.
All right, the 2A playoff brackets. 1 seed Seton LaSalle. The 2nd seed is South Park, and the 3rd is Elwood City. All 3 of those teams have a bye the first round. So Seton LaSalle, we'll see who they're going to play. They're the matchup between OLSH and Riverside. As the 8 and 9 seeds, I'd take Riverside. And then number 4 Still Valley versus number 13 Washington. I would take Still Valley at home. And then Western Beavers, the 5th seed, hosting Carleton. And I would also stick with the homer on that one for Western Beaver. And then the other side of the bracket, South Park's waiting to play the winner of Mohawk, the 7th seed, versus Keystone Oaks. I would pick the upset with Keystone Oaks as the 10 seed. And then Elwood City as the 3rd seeds will play the winner of number 6 South Allegheny against Waynesburg Central, who's the 11th seed. And again, I'm going to go with Waynesburg on that one.
Alrighty, there's Class 2A. Again, if you're not already subscribed, all podcasts will be taking place on the main channel. There won't be any side channels. It'll all take place under here, under the videos tab. Moving on, Class 3A. So we will move on to that. We'll send it over to Rob again.
And for the 3A bracket, the first 4 seeds get a bye, which number 1 seed's Amani Christian. The number 2 seed is Central Valley. Number 3 is Elizabeth Forward. And number 4 is Beaver. All 4 of those teams will get a bye. We'll start on the right side this time. So you have number 7 Freeport hosting Mount Pleasant. Winner plays Central Valley. I'm going with Freeport. And next we have number 6 Deer Lakes hosting number 11 North Catholic. Winner plays Elizabeth Forward. I am going with Deer Lakes on that one also. Keep it. They're both Alikiski teams. Sometimes that's just the way I lean usually. Other side of the bracket, you have number 5 Avonworth hosting Greensburg Salem. Winner plays Beaver. I'm going with Avonworth. They're always a solid team every year. And then Amani, who is undefeated as the 1 seed, is waiting to play the winner of Southmoreland and Highlands. 8-9 seeds. Southmoreland's hosting the game, but I'm going to pick Highlands. And then we might as well just do the 4A bracket. There's only 8 teams in it. I mean, it's an impressive bracket. Thomas Jefferson's the 1 seed. They'll play West Allegheny. TJ's just too tough this year. They got a kid that can throw. They got a couple running backs. And then Same side of the bracket, Aliquippa, surprisingly, is the 4th seed against 5th seed Trinity. I mean, everybody knows Aliquippa. I'm going to pick them. So that'll be a crazy matchup in the semifinals between TJ and Aliquippa. Probably should be the final, but hey, that's what the Whipfield did. Number 2, Montour, who's impressive against number 7, Mars. I'm going with Montour, although it's hard to go against Kasparovich with what he's done at Mars, prior to that at Pine Richland. And then the 3rd seed, McKeesport, against Bell Vernon. And I believe McKeesport's already beaten Bell Vernon once this year, early in the season. But I'm sticking with McKeesport.
Alrighty, and before we get any farther, we're going to take a slight break from the brackets. The 2024 We Serve First All-Star Classic volleyball game is going to take place live right here on Pencak Sports Network. That's going to be on December 7th at roughly 3:45 p.m. So if you can't make it to the game or to the tournament, join us on here. I will actually not be commentating that game. There's someone special coming in. I'm not gonna leak it or anything. It's a surprise. So that's a big announcement. Moving on to 5A, the bracket for football. So yeah, I'm gonna send it back over.
All right, 5A bracket. It's probably the one we pay the most attention to because our Kiski Cavaliers are in this bracket this year. Unfortunately, they did not make the playoffs, but they're in this classification, I should say. And first 4 seeds get a bye. Your number 1 seed's Pine Richland. Your number 2 seed's Upper St. Clair. I know that was going back and forth, but because Pine Richland has 1 loss, it's to NA, but they also took out the 1 seed Central Catholic Vikings during the regular season. So PR got the 1 seed, Upper St. Clair's the 2, Peters Township's the 3rd seed, which they're the returning champions, and then the 4th seed is the Woodland Hills Wolverines. So we'll start. Upper St. Clair is waiting to play the winner of the 7th-seeded Penn Hills Little Indians against number 10 Moon. I'm going with Penn Hills on that. And then Penn Trafford is the 6th seed versus South Fayette. It's at Penn Trafford High School. John Rain's the coach at PT. I really like that dude, so I'm picking them for that game. So you'll end up with Upper St. Clair versus Penn Hills in the quarterfinals, and then Peters versus Penn Trafford on the other half of that bracket. On the other side, you're looking at the 5 seed Bethel Park against number 12 Latrobe. It's in Bethel Park. I'm going with Bethel Park. The Latrobe's had some injuries, or they would have been a higher seed. They had a really good team. Unfortunately, their best kid went out. He's going to Penn State to play linebacker. He was their running back. He was averaging like 12 yards a carry when he played. It was crazy. But unfortunately, he's done for the year. So I'm going with Bethel Park, and then they will play Woodland Hills in the quarters. And then the number 8 seed North Hills Indians against number 9 Franklin Regional. It's down at North Hills. It's probably the best stadium, in my opinion, in the Whippeal. I'm going with North Hills, and then they're going to have to play Pine Richland in the quarters. And then 6A, they're all off this week. There's only 4 teams in it, so we'll just chill on that for now. But Central Catholic's the 1 seed. North Allegheny's the 2 seed. They're trying to three-peat. And then North Allegheny's going to play Mount Lebanon as the 3rd seed next week. And then Central's going to play Seneca Valley. So that's all we got.
And a fun fact is that 6A championship is actually played at Norwin High School, not Acroshore Stadium. So that's kind of big. We'd like to go over why we started the podcast. November, not much going on in that month. No really sports, kind of dead, at least that we can stream. So we figured we'd start the podcast. And 4A is also playing at Norwin. So 2 out of the 6 play at Norwin while the other 4 play at Acroshore. But you know why we started it? Get you something to watch during November. We picked Wednesday, Friday. Friday there's too much going on between football and like Friday nights. Weekends we won't do it on, but Wednesday is the day we settled on. There is I think a few basketball games on that day, so we'll obviously let you know what it'll be moved to or if it'll be canceled. Any big games that you're looking forward to or want to go see or watch?
Like I said, 5A, I like North Hills Stadium. I think the atmosphere there, it's down in like a bowl. Their marching band is very, very similar to a college band, so they're good. It's just a cool place to be. I mean, Aliquippa, can't beat that place either. I've not been to Thomas Jefferson. I wouldn't mind watching that. Been to McKeesport. Locally for us, Leechburg has a game. They're hosting Cornell in 1A. And then Freeport's local for us, so we could probably hit that one, or even Deer Lakes. I mean, we've got 3 games within 20 minutes of us, so North Hills for us is about 40, 45 minutes to get down there. So we may pick one, we may not. We'll see how the week unfolds, but there should be some good games.
Alrighty, one last time. We're going to thank the sponsors, the We Serve First Foundation and the Selfie Spot AK Valley. The number for the selfie spots is 724-594-5538. Again, their Facebook, their Instagram pages, a bunch of pictures from past events. They do have a website, and if I'm not mistaken, I think it's www.theselfiespot. I think it's just theselfiespot.com. That's where all their pricing is and all that. The link for that's on their Facebook page. And then the Gym, there is an article on the We Serve First, the All-Star Classic game that you can go and read. It's not too descriptive, but something to start off of. So, yeah. But that's about all we covered. It's more of a sports talk than a podcast. Episodes won't be too long. Episodes won't be too short. I like to say just right in there in the middle. But we thank Rob. Was a great lineman when he played back in the 90s. So one of Kiski area's own alumni. So he has a lot of pride for Kiski. But yeah, not too much else to say. But yeah, first episode. I wanted to do it a natural set, but I figured for Halloween we couldn't miss it. I mean, it's tomorrow, so yeah. So tune us in next week, Wednesday, 7 o'clock, right here on the Pencak Sports Network. Can't skip ahead, but after probably 7:30, the whole episode will be up, and you can always go back and watch it. But this has been on the Pencak Sports Network, Vocalized. We thank you for watching the very first episode, and we'd like to see you back next week. It's been Nathan Pencak.
Thanks for hosting me, Nate. Obviously, Penn State plays Ohio State at noon on Saturday, so we will be dealing with that on Saturday. So hopefully we get a W. Try to go undefeated this year, at least make the playoff. But I just want to beat Ohio State. So hopefully that works out that way. They should get better the more we do them. It's obviously the first one. This is all Nate's idea. It's his channel. It's his baby. So anything I can do to help him out. Have a good night.
Alrighty, well, we are going to sign it off. Hope to see you next week. It's been Rob, it's been Nate, and we're signing it off.